Asalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I pray that you are all in the best of health and iman. If you are new, welcome. My name is Nafisa. I am a Muslimah life coach and I support Muslim women with relationship and mental health issues. So if you're interested in being coached in those areas, you can find me over on my website, which I will leave linked in the description box down below. You can also find me on Patreon, where I help women who are about to get married to become wives before they get the ring, and I also help women who are already married and giving them tips on how to sustain and improve and create a happy marriage. So if you're interested in that, definitely check me out on Patreon. So today's video, we are discussing reasons why you should not give a man a second chance. Sisters, listen up. This is important, okay? I will put out there, I am very much a person who is about giving other people second chances in life when it's appropriate, because I believe that sometimes we can make bad decisions and we can learn from our bad decisions. And just because we've made bad decisions before in the past doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen in the future. But there are certain circumstances, like the ones I will list in today's video, where I think if this is what you're sensing, you may want to reconsider your decision to give someone a second chance. Because sis, sometimes your intuition is telling you this is not the place for me to be. I have no business being here with this man, but you're forcing it. And I'm here to tell you, if he fulfills a lot of the things that I talk about in today's video, seriously reconsider your decision to give this man a second chance. So to begin the video, I want to give you guys an Islamic reminder. And my Islamic reminder for today's video is that try not to make wrong assumptions about people. Try to make things evidence-based. And if you suspect that someone is guilty of something, at least try to find your concrete evidence. Some of us, because of the traumas that we've had in the past and the negative experiences that we've had in the past, we have a bad habit of making bad assumptions about people which are simply not true. So my advice for both myself as well as you is that we should fear Allah in everything that we do. And although we may have our suspicions, make sure that those suspicions are backed up by evidence before we make final decisions and final or ultimate statements about people and who they are and what they are like, okay? That is my reminder for you for today. So my first point on reasons why you should not give a man a second chance is if being with that man is lowering your self-esteem drastically. If someone brings down your self-esteem, it's likely they too are broken or hurt in some way. You know that the famous saying, hurts people. If someone is hurt and broken, they have a negative energy, negative vibe and all of that, they are likely to also treat people in similar ways and therefore cause pain. So my advice for you, if he is a man who thrives in bringing down your self-esteem, don't stay with that man. You're not going to thrive with a person like that. You're not going to be able to achieve your full potential with a person like that. You're always going to be feeling like you need to be walking on eggshells with a person like that. Reconsider your decision to get back with a man or a woman who thrives in lowering your self-esteem. They are not healthy people. They need to go and get their help. They need to do their own work to heal themselves so that they can come back and do the work right. But if they refuse and they remain in this state, they may not be the best people in this particular time to do relationships with. So that is my first tip. The next reason why you may not want to give this person a second chance would be if there is evidence of disloyalty in the past and you're beginning to sense that too, and your fear is valid, right? I'm not just talking about you're just scared because you heard that this person was disloyal to their spouse 10, 15 years ago. I'm talking about you've heard stories that they have been disloyal in their past relationships, meaning more than one, and you are beginning to experience it too. Again, especially for us women, sometimes the red flags stare us in the face and we say, no, it's not here. This is not what this is. This is not a red flag. It's not here. Oh, How cute. We lighten up a red flag that stares us in the face, or we choose to ignore it, or we simply just choose not to focus on it because we are infatuated by whatever else is getting us carried away about that person. And disloyalty, some people have a bad habit of repeating the same patterns in every relationship. Again, because they haven't done their own healing. Some of them don't even recognize that there is an issue here to be healed. That's just who they are. That's just the stage of life that they are in. For example, if a man is not ready to settle down, he's not ready for marriage, he's not ready for that level of commitment, he's not seeing anything wrong with the fact that he's having multiple girlfriends at the same time. He's thinking, what's the big deal? I'm just having fun. Because in his mind, and what majority of society tell a man is, when you're young, you need to live your life. You need to have as many women as possible. You know, you're young, you need to enjoy yourself. We as Muslims know that that's not what we are about. And if you are a Muslim or a Muslim woman, or just a woman of integrity, you will try to avoid being with people who are disloyal and have shown that evidence in the past and are still showing signs of it today. If you don't do that, in that relationship, if you go back into it, you will end up with trust issues. You will have trust issues because you won't trust him. He probably will do the whole reverse psychology thing on you by questioning your level of commitment to the relationship. And then there will be this back and forth and instability in that relationship, all because I am not feeling emotionally safe in this relationship. I don't think that this relationship is going to go anywhere. I am nervous and I am scared of what if that person leaves me. And if you have individuals who are extremely codependent and women who just are afraid of being left, or the idea that they could ever be alone, then you could end up with a woman who is going above and beyond, doing ridiculous things she should not be doing for a man that she's in the talking phase with, or even married to, but compromising herself to please this person because she's afraid of being left. Why? Because of a man who is disloyal or a woman who is disloyal, and they have this habit of being disloyal to their partners. Okay? If a person tells you who they are, believe them. The way in which they tell you who they are is in what they show you and what is consistent in their lives. If this is a consistency in this individual's life, don't think you're going to be the special case that's going to change him. You're so amazing, you're so special, and he's told you all these beautiful words that your ears love to hear, and you're here thinking, yes, I'm the one that's going to make him change. Don't wait for 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line to realize this person never changed. He was always who he was. The previous women, they weren't the problem. He was the problem. Okay? Please reconsider giving a man who has shown continuous disloyalty another chance. You're just extending your pain period, sis. Stop it. The next reason not to give a man a second chance would be thinking of giving him a second chance, not because you're genuinely interested in him, but because you're afraid of being alone. Loneliness is a real thing. And yes, us human beings, we seek connection with other human beings. It's natural. But sis, if you're making a decision about a relationship based upon the fear of not wanting to be alone, the fear of not wanting to spend time with yourself or be by yourself, or because other people around you are having families and they are in relationships, you're feeling like I have to be in a relationship as well so that I have a sense of worth, it is not a reason to give this relationship that you've left before another chance. Why do I say that? You left the relationship before for a reason. You need to focus on that reason. If it was a right relationship for you, you may not have left it. And if it wasn't you that left it and that other person left the relationship, think twice about why they felt that they needed to leave the relationship. And if you're wanting to accept them back only because then I won't be alone, the question I want to ask yourself is, did you ever feel emotionally safe being with this person? That lonely void in you, when they were there, did they really fulfill that lonely void? I mean, really, did they really fulfill that lonely void? Because sometimes people are physically there, but they are just not present. There are plenty of relationships, plenty of marriages that people are in, they are in it alone. They are still very much lonely. Having just a physical presence is not going to heal your loneliness. It isn't. You need to do your own personal work to heal your sense of loneliness in that way. And when somebody else comes in and they share a life with you, it will make your life feel more enriched. I'm not saying you won't desire to want to be with a person. There's no such thing as healing so much that you never desire anyone. It would be nice, but it would no longer be a core need to that deep level. The next reason why you may not want to take someone back is if you both cannot resolve your main issues that you had with each other before. Sometimes, there is love, but then there is compatibility, and there are other areas of a relationship that is needed to make a relationship succeed. And if you've ever heard of the quote, love isn't enough, it's actually very true. Two people can love each other so much, but they can actually be so bad for each other. They will not make a good relationship with one another. And so despite the fact that they love each other, they have to come to a conclusion whereby we are not a good fit. We love each other. We're in love with each other, but we can't make a relationship work together. We clash in so many different ways. We have all of these other issues. And sometimes when these issues remain unresolved, when one person is so rigid they won't change, when the other person is also very rigid and they won't change, when the change will involve changing themselves at their core and that's not what they want to do, you have to allow this relationship to peacefully die. You do. You can't keep trying to revive what isn't there, essentially. To take a person back, knowing that our core issues are not dealt with, we're not willing to deal with them. We both know that none of us are willing to change. It's time to let this go. It's actually time for somebody in this relationship to be brave enough, mature enough to actually say, yeah, this isn't working, and as painful as it's going to be, it's time to move on, because we both deserve to be in relationships that can be healthy and right for the both of us. It's a hard decision to make. It's a very, very hard decision to make, because when you love someone and you separate from your loved one, it's going to hurt. So this isn't an easy decision that people can just come to. I understand that. I absolutely appreciate that. But I have a saying, and that is that you can have short-term pain for long-term gain. It's not easy, but it's possible. It's possible. And there comes a time in your life, as you mature and as you grow, that you will really see the reality of the phrase that I've just said right now come to life, where you have to make a short-term decision that's very painful, but it's for the betterment of your future. So I would say it's not a good enough reason. Your core issues still persist. They are still very much there. You cannot have a successful relationship where you can just ignore your core issues, pretend they don't exist, and think life is going to be rosy afterwards. It will not. It will rise again and again and again. So either you continue giving this relationship multiple chances and extend your pain, or you can end it now and stop the cycle of trauma that you keep putting yourself into. What is it going to be? My final reason I've touched upon before, and that is if the person refuses to change. We can't force people to change. If a person says, this is how I am, this is who I am, this is who I'm going to continue to be, And I'm not willing to compromise on that. But because, again, you love them, because they've been in your life for so much, you've invested, you're thinking, let me just take them back. What can I do? But you know the thing that they don't want to change in. It's something that bothers you so much. It's something you can't handle. You know that. You know that it's something deep at your core you can't handle. You know it's against the way you live your life. You know it's against so much. But they're telling you, I'm not going to change this. And what they're not willing to change on is something that is of a core value to you. You need to not give that person a second chance. You need to let that person go. It will be painful right now, but it will be better in the long run for you. Instead of going into a relationship thinking, oh yeah, whatever, she doesn't mean it. Oh yeah, whatever, he doesn't mean it. I'll convince him to change. I know how I can make him change. This whole thing that us women are just supposed to make our men change, you can influence him. Yes, you can to some degree, but there are some core issues that you cannot influence a person on. And when you try to force it upon a person, they will reject it with force because that is part of their identity. You can't change that. If a man says to you, look, this religious stuff, I'm not really into it. Like I couldn't care less for it. And you're thinking, okay, well, do you believe in God? Yeah. Do you believe in Allah? Yeah. Okay. As long as you believe in Allah, I'm not worried. I can convince you to start praying. I can convince you to be fasting. I can convince you one day to learn Quran and teach my children Quran. But he's just told you he's not interested. He's not going to be that person. You pray? Yes, sometimes I pray. Oh, okay. So do you have a job? Well, yeah, kind of. I had this job and that didn't work out. Then I had this job and that didn't. Okay, you planning to get a stable job? I'm not really sure. My dream is to become an astronaut one day. And this guy doesn't even have GCSEs in science. Like, he's showing you he ain't going to change certain things. This is his pattern in life. Can you believe him, please, sis? And that's right there, sis, is your cue to exit. That right there is to believe a person. When they show you who they are, believe them. So, my sisters, that's that. Life isn't perfect. Every man and every woman is going to come with a flaw. Okay? They will come with a flaw. I have my flaws. My husband has his flaws. You have your flaws. Your husband is going to have his flaws. We all have our flaws. Our children have their flaws. Our parents, everybody. Human beings don't come in perfect packages. We're just not made like that. Okay? So relationships are about what... It's annoying, but what do I think I can just about handle? What can I handle? Okay? And when it becomes overwhelming and it's too much, that's when you have to sit back and reconsider. Because nobody deserves, in my opinion, to put themselves in situations where they just end up living a miserable life for the rest of their lives. Honestly, personally, I think even if you're on your own, but you have a certain level of peace of mind, to me personally, it's better than being in a relationship that is just toxic 24/7, all day, every day for the last 10, 15, 20 years. For what? Like, for what, sis? Okay? Marriage is a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm a married woman. Marriage is a beautiful thing. I know it can be done right. Unfortunately, there isn't enough of that encouragement. Marriage can be done right when the two people come into it wanting it to be done right and they are ready to put in the work that is going to take to make it go well. But if he's not the right person for you, check out. Especially if you've made istihara. Now, my sisters, especially when you have made istihara and things aren't working well and you know the red flags are staring you in the face, please look at the red flags, acknowledge them, and when you know they're too much for you, know that this is your sign to exit. Because some women are like, how did I get myself into this situation? I made istihara and I still ended up here. When they look back and reflect back in their situation, they realize, wow, there were so many signs. I just wasn't paying attention. I just ignored it because I thought I was overthinking, or maybe I didn't know, so I ignored it. And now I'm finding myself in this situation. Okay? Please, sisters, think twice and consult Allah in every decision that you make. Give people second chances. Like what I said in the beginning, don't make assumptions unless you have evidences, or be careful of your assumptions, okay? Make sure you always have evidence to back it up. But where you've seen evidences as well, or your gut feeling is telling you there's something wrong here and you know you can trust your gut feelings, then it is time to make some drastic decisions for the betterment of your future. So my dear beautiful ladies, that is the video that I have for you today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to check out this video that I made a few days ago if you haven't seen it yet, and I will speak to you over there. Assalamualaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.